The Caine Mutiny Court-Martial is currently on Paramount Plus / Showtime. It is the final film from director William Friedkin, and it has quite a cast. But sort of in the lead cast, we've got Kiefer Sutherland, Jason Clarke, Jake Lacey, Monica Raymond, and Lance Reddick are sort of probably like maybe the big five there to take away. So we've also got maybe it's not the final performance because he's in Shirley, which hasn't been released yet. So it's not even Camus's final performance for Lance Reddick. He banked so many films. But yeah, this is also a dedicated to Lance Reddick performance. So, and it is a completely updated version of the Caine Mutiny. Literally, I watched this film when it dropped, and yes, I know this review's coming out a little late. I watch a lot of films, and I try not to post like 8 reviews in a day. I watch way too much stuff, so I try to space it out. Anyway, but I did watch this actually the day it came out. That's how late you're getting this. I don't know when you're getting this, but that's how late. So yeah, it literally features an event that happened less than a year ago. So according to the events of the film, the actual mutiny happened like last December. And we are talking to the people now. Jake Lacey plays the officer who is being accused of causing the mutiny. Kiefer Sutherland is playing the officer who was relieved of duty. Jason Clarke is playing the defense. Monica Raymond plays the prosecution. And Lance Reddick plays the judge that is overseeing the trial. We do hear from some other people that come in and out who give other testimony, other people from the ship, medical experts who testify as to whether or not Kiefer Sutherland was of sound mind, whether or not he's crazy or not, basically. And that's basically the whole film. The film runs a little over an hour and 40 minutes, about an hour and 40 minutes. Actually, I think maybe the overage was credits. So I would say you could probably tap out at the hour and 40 minute mark. Actually it was, it's a roundabout audio description by Elias, which haven't always been great experiences for me. And this one, you wouldn't really notice the audio description, the narrator. So the fact that it goes to Elias just doesn't really help his resume of being able to, I don't know, have like some great narration to his name. The film is shot in a court. It's just it's a courtroom drama, and it has a ton of dialogue to the point where I was watching this with my mom, and she was like, I don't know how they memorize that much dialogue. They must be reading from cards. And I was like, Mom, it's totally possible to memorize that dialogue. But yeah, for some of the people, it's an insane amount of dialogue. It was like nonstop for like an hour and 40 minutes. You're just going. There's very little breathing room in here for audio description. However, the set basically never changes. There's one time where they walk outside the room where they need to confer, where Jason Clarke asks if he can confer with his defendant, and he steps outside for like 2 seconds. And then there's another scene sort of at like the end of the film that doesn't take place inside the courtroom. So otherwise, everything else just takes place inside the same room. It's sort of a weird thing for this to be William Friedkin's final film, except he does a really great job of maintaining the intensity. And by updating this, by taking the famous Caine Mutiny, uh, the title that people are familiar with, and by updating it, and by having people talk about things like 9/11, and the people that signed up after 9/11 and the courage and all that kind of stuff, he's saying something very specific here, and he's completely changed the script on the Caine Mutiny, and he's been able to incorporate things that previous iterations of this have not been able to. They talk about disabling internet and stuff like that in the film, and it's just a little, it's very different, and it's interesting how it got updated and how it was able to be brought into the modern times, so to speak, and also how those changes can help a film like this. How instead of continuing to try to keep this film locked in a certain time period, you can actually sort of show that this could have happened today, and what would we do about it, you know? It's a compelling story, and I don't think I've watched a Caine Mutiny before. I know that they're out there. I don't think I've watched a previous version of the Caine Mutiny before, and I don't want to confuse the Caine Mutiny with Mutiny on the Bounty, which is I'm like, don't think I have. There's two different mutiny things that are floating around out there, but yes, I don't think I have, and this just really impressed me and surprised me. The performances here are incredible. I gotta start with Monica Raymond, which is, I don't think a lot of critics are gonna start with her. I thought Monica Raymond was amazing. She gave me so much Tom Cruise and A Few Good Men vibes, which is funny because she's on the other side. She's on the prosecution side this time around. But, God, there was a lot of fire in her. She feels like the prosecutor you don't mess with. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, she is on the side, and you just, this is someone who does not lose. If she ever ends her military service and moves into, the public sector or whatever, and ends up either on, I don't know if she would defend people or prosecute people, but watch out, because this is a fighter, and she does an excellent job of proving her case, as well as the fact that on the other side, Jason Clarke does a fantastic job proving his case. I really did not know where this was going to go. I thought they both did excellent work, and I was like, if I was a jury, I think it all hinged on the moment that this film wants it to hinge on, and that was sort of out of the hands of both lawyers. So, but yeah, Jason Clarke here is very good. He has his wrap-up scene sort of at the end, which is also very good. He has a nice big long speech. A lot of kudos to him in this film. Kiefer Sutherland is terrific. He has a scene that is very pivotal towards the end of the film that he just absolutely did tremendous work in. Lance Reddick is fantastic as the judge who, is maintaining not the decorum of a courtroom, but the decorum of a military courtroom. He reminds people of the ramifications. They do not play by the same rules. They have similar rules, but they're not the same. And he reminds people that. Jake Lacy's actually pretty good. It's just he's in a room of titans, and his performance is very solid. I was happy with it, but he doesn't get nearly the screen time to talk. He just gets a lot of screen time of sitting next to over at the defense table. So I definitely would recommend this film, especially if you like courtroom dramas. That's what this is. They don't leave the courtroom. It reminded me, oddly enough, the first film that came to mind from like, what is this most like that I've seen recently? I was like, oh, Argentina 1985. Well, that's a weird film for me to remember, but yeah. But they left the courtroom more than that in Argentina 1985. I also thought of Trial of the Chicago 7, but they also left the courtroom more than this film does. So, yeah, audio description, it gives you nothing. Not really. I mean, it gives you like a little, like Elias tries to interject here and there, but it's really hard for me to come down to him because there is not a lot of time. They're constantly talking. There are little breaks, and he might say somebody walks, or somebody sits, or somebody stands, or to try to give a little bit of flavor. He doesn't waste too much time on people being dressed and like how they're dressed and what they look like, because obviously everybody is wearing their uniforms because it's a military courtroom. So it doesn't really matter. They're all probably wearing virtually the same thing, just with like different amounts of, bars and accolades and stuff like that on them. So I would recommend this. This is William Friedkin. So this is his last film. This actually did, because it's his last film, it actually did go to film festivals before it ended up on Showtime. And I can see why. I don't know that Friedkin, when he was shooting this, knew it was going to Showtime. I think he just shot a damn good movie. So, I'm really happy with this. That's one of the stronger films I've seen this year. There's just not much for me to say about the audio description, but I don't know if that's Elias's fault this time around. Sometimes I complain about some of his TV work. Here, it's a barrage of dialogue. The script is amazing. It's very rapid fire. It feels like it could have been Aaron Sorkin, could have been Rob Reiner, something like that. It's not, but I mean, it could have been. And it just keeps coming all over and over and over. But definitely watch this if you have Paramount Plus. I'm going to give the Caine Mutiny Court Martial an A-. So that's it. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. If you're not a subscriber, please click the subscribe button. You can also follow me on X, Threads, or Instagram at Mac the Movie Guy. I have a website, macthemovieguy.com. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org. It'll let you know what is audio description, where you can watch it. You can go to theadna.org and look up Elias and see what else he's narrated. And I will review something else for you guys and see you on the other side.